Hello, this is wmpyr. In this video, I'm basically looking at UFC fights from the viewpoint of a martial artist and going, how can I learn from those matches, those fights, for the purpose of self-defense? Because that's what I'm interested in. So, and some people may disagree with that, but I come from the Eskrima Filipino martial arts background. And our viewpoint is we benefit from anything and everything. I don't care what it's from, military, sport, self-defense, whatever. I will benefit from it. And that's the thing. So I'm looking at sport as just another tool to learn from. So if you're willing to learn, if you open your mind and you're willing to learn, you can benefit from anything. That's a lesson that my father taught me. So in this case, more recent fight is Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas. Joanna was a champ, and she basically got crushed and destroyed in the first round. Devastating. And this is so strange because she was the undisputed, undefeated champ, and all of a sudden Rose comes out of nowhere. And Rose, to me, is still untested. I mean, I'm sure she's awesome. And I was actually rooting for her, but I still felt that she was a little untested. I still feel that way. But anyway, so why did this happen? I don't think that Joanna necessarily underestimated Rose, so to speak. I think it was more so that Joanna was prepared in the wrong way. And I'm not blaming her trainers. I'm just saying mentality-wise, she prepared for this incorrectly. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you've been in a tough sport, or any sport, sport's tough, period. They want sport. All the rules in sport is designed to make it into a battle of attrition. They don't want someone to get knocked out so easily. That's why there's weight classes. And that's why you're supposed to be fighting within the top 10 contenders. If you fight some tomato can that no one's ever heard of, or someone that just came out of the amateur ranks, you might kill the person, literally. So they don't want that kind of liability, So what happens a lot of time in sport is you understand your opponent is going to be a top supreme athlete. They're going to be studying you. They're well prepared. They're in great condition, great reflex. They got the moves, everything. So it's going to be a tough match. If it's going to be a tough match, what happens? It's going to go the distance. So Joanna, in my mind, was ready for 5 brutal rounds, that's what makes her the champ, and she could do that better than anyone. She could take you to deep waters. That's what we call it. Take you into deep waters. 5 rounds under pressure of a championship title bout. And she could do that so well. And she's crushed all of her opponents and dominated them. But there's always the possibility that someone can steamroll you, which is like a Mike Tyson coming in, bull rush you and destroy you, just crush you. Just kind of like what Ronda Rousey used to do to her opponents. She'd go in and just freaking dominate them so fast, so quickly. So from a self-defense point of view, you should always expect this to happen, especially in the street. If someone's messing with you on the street and they're aggressive and they want to attack you, chances are it's probably because they're bigger than you. They're bullies. They know that they could win this, so they're coming after weaker prey. That's what they view you as. So, in that case, they probably do have the ability to knock you out with one hit. So in that case, you should always be prepared and expect to be steamrolled. So anyway, the lesson that I learned here is always expect the opponent the possibility that they can steamroll you. So that's 2 different things. Being prepared for being steamrolled and being prepared for going the distance. 2 different things. So you should be able to do both, be able to defend both. So anyway, the next one I want to talk about, I don't want it to go too long. I'm already at the 5-minute mark, is Alistair Overeem versus Ngannou. And I just saw a YouTube video where they did a breakdown of the fight, and I completely, utterly, totally disagree with the person that did the breakdown. I'm sure Ngannou is a beast and a phenom, and he learns incredibly fast. I'm sure all those things. I don't doubt it. He might be the next great thing. I don't doubt that either. But I don't think that Overeem lost because Ngannou was so freaking awesome and it was all because of Ngannou. I completely disagree that someone so experienced like Overeem and so technical like Overeem would just get destroyed by some, beginner phenom guy like that. I really don't think so. The explanation didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. The guy that did the breakdown, I'm telling you, some of these people that do fight breakdowns on YouTube, I think a lot of it is ego. So they're just saying this stuff to try to sound like they're, people are going to be like, wow, this guy's so awesome. This guy is so technical and he knows what's going on. Like I said, I completely disagree. It didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So what happened to me was Overeem is known to reset during the fight. And I do myself. I fight that way in the past. I know myself, and I like to do that because you go in there and you're going to fight, and then the other guy might come in a little too fast or their combo's a little too good or whatever, and it throws you off. So what do? I run out. I run out to a safe distance, and then I reset, and then I come back in and go, okay, let's redo this. Let's see if I could read your moves. Let's see if I could counter. Let's see if I could do the combos first. Let me see if I could mount an offense or whatever. So you reset. Overeem does that. I do it too. So, I mean, to me, that makes sense. In this match, Overeem didn't. Why didn't he reset when that's what he's known for and whatnot? Was it because Ngannou confused him? And because Ngannou is that freaking good that he can confuse you? I don't think so. To me, what I saw Ngannou do that was great was that he just stuck to basics and he stayed as much as possible in his form. That alone is a hard feat, especially going up against someone like Overeem who's so advanced, who's so experienced. I tell them this is what you need to do, and they don't do it, and it's like, but Ngannou did. I think if I was a coach, I would have been like, dude, you know the basics, stick to the basics, don't try anything fancy, stick to the form, keep your form, don't overextend. I thought he pretty much did all of those things pretty solid, and so my hat goes off to him. In that sense, he is a phenom, he is phenomenal. Overeem, on the other hand, he didn't reset. Why? Because I feel like he felt like he was that much better. And he is. I think he is that much more skilled than Ngannou. So he was like, you know what? I can knock this guy out. I do not have to reset. I can stay right here in the pocket where it's dangerous, where anybody can get knocked out. Even if you're super skilled, one mistake and you can get knocked out if you stay in the pocket. We've seen it with Anderson Silva. And Overeem chose to stay in the pocket. Why? Because he's going, I can knock this guy out with some of my advanced moves. What were his advanced moves? They were like the Fedor Russian hook style, where he's going to go offline and throw these shoulder these overhand type punches, and he did. That's what you see him doing. That's advanced. That's beyond basics. So Overeem was so confident. He was trying to do these advanced moves when I think he rushed it a little too much. He should have played safer. He underestimated his opponent. So to me, my explanation makes sense to me. And because Overeem is technical, he is experienced, it makes perfect sense. Then rather than to say Ngannou is so freaking awesome that it threw Overeem out of his game, he just didn't know what to do and he got knocked out. That doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, the lesson there is, there's a lot of lessons there, but one of the main things is A, don't underestimate your opponent, and then B, in the pocket, anybody can get knocked out. So I like the reset. I like the old Overeem that would reset, the normal Overeem. And you get a little cocky and you go, you know what? I'm in the pocket, but I could still knock this guy out. Check out these moves. That's how you get knocked out, So you can't get cocky like that. You can't rely on moves because moves may work, may not, So that's another lesson right there. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching and take care, folks.